Hello and welcome to today's N.E.S.T Create session. My name is Mahmoud Habib and I'll be doing today's session. I'm just going to wait an extra couple of minutes just in case anyone else decides to join. Thank you. Okay. If you have any questions, please leave them down below and I will be answering them from another account. I'll start the session in just one more minute. Thank you. Okay, so this is the Create session for the 21st of April 2020. My name is Mahmoud Habib and I'm a volunteer with N.E.S.T. Today's session will be about street art. And here's a little picture of what street art is in general. Today we will define street art and graffiti. We will discuss some famous street artists such as Banksy, Invader, and Keith Haring. And we will think about the pros and cons of street art, or maybe, in other words, the advantages and disadvantages. There will be a short quiz at the end, as well as a bunch of keywords throughout the whole session for you to learn. And like I said, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. So basically, what is graffiti? Graffiti is, as you can see in the pictures, it's usually illegal and done at night so people can escape the police or prosecution. So as you can see on these pictures, this is what graffiti looks like. It's basically just spray painting certain pictures on walls. It is often words, not images. But as you can see, the words are designed in certain creative ways. They each have certain words. So like the bottom picture, for example, says power, but however, there are pictures used for words, or what look like pictures. A tag is how an artist writes their own name. It's a bit like a signature. So someone would perform graffiti and then leave a tag or a nickname on the side just so people know it's him. Or so that if they see a different type of street art or graffiti, they know it's come from the same person. Often people use a fake name as a pseudonym because it is illegal to conduct graffiti, obviously. So they will use, for example, a nickname. So someone could call himself Fire or Water or something like that, for example. The name can be anything. What is street art? Now, street art is usually painted on walls and buildings. Now, as you can see in the picture on the right, street art is similar to graffiti, but it's also different. Now, street art is usually legal, however, it can sometimes also be illegal. People will pay someone to produce a mural or a piece of art. So as you can see on this wall, this is probably legal and someone was probably paid for it. It's considered a profession or a job. It is usually images, or as you can see, patterns. And it sometimes has a political message. It can also have messages not related to politics, but often it's politically related. Some people would also call it graffiti. As you can tell, it can sometimes be hard to tell the difference. Give you a second just to look at that. Now there are some examples on the next few slides. Invader. Invader is a French street artist. As you can see on the left, here are some of his famous works related to cartoons, and they're very well painted. They look amazing, as you can tell. Lots of his artworks are in Paris, but he also has some all over the world. Yeah. The picture on the left is of a famous popular laptop game called Space Invaders. Some of you may have known about this game from before. Usually street artists use spray paint, which is just paint that comes in cans and you can spray it onto walls. And there's a picture of spray paint in the top right corner. Invader uses tiles, so as you can see there are tiles in his painting. Right, there's little squares. As you can also see on the bottom right, there are some more tiles. Keith Haring. Keith Haring was an American artist, a street artist. He has murals all over the world. Now, as we mentioned previously, mural is just street art, basically. On the right are two examples of his murals or street art. He used his work to talk about political and health issues, such as HIV and AIDS, which are two very common health problems or diseases. His art is now very famous and very popular. Lots of people all over the world know about him. You can't buy lots of things with Keith Haring's art on, which means it's very rare and would probably be very expensive. As you can see in the bottom left, there are some examples. I'll give you a second to look at. Here's a mug, badges, and socks. John Lennon. In Prague, In the Czech Republic, there is a wall covered with messages of hope, love, and quotes from songs by the Beatles. The Beatles is a very famous band. The Beatles are a famous band from Liverpool in England. As you can see in the map, this is where Liverpool is. It's on the west side of the United Kingdom of England. Sorry. John Lennon was a singer in the Beatles. The wall started for the painting of John Lennon after he was murdered in 1980. Through history, people in Prague have used the wall to talk about freedom and hope in times of hardship. Hardship just means times of struggle or difficulty. Here are some pictures of the wall. I'll leave it for a few seconds for you to look at. Is the John Lennon wall graffiti or street art? As there aren't many live viewers, I'll leave a few seconds for any late viewers to think about it, and then I'll give you the answer. The John Lennon wall is a mix of both graffiti and street art, as you can see. As far as I know. Sorry, there isn't really an answer here. The Berlin Wall, East Side Gallery. East Side Gallery is in Berlin, Germany. It is 105 paintings on a piece of the old Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall was a wall that split the east and west side of Berlin during the Second World War, or around the time of the Second World War. It divided East and West Berlin between 1961 and 1989. I apologize for the wrong fact. East Germany was governed by the Soviet Union, and West Germany was governed by Great Britain, France, and the USA. This was as a result of the Second World War. The wall came down in 1989, as in it was destroyed in 1989. The remaining pieces of the wall are used to remember these difficult times from the past. So it's a way of showing that struggle will end. Over 3 million people visit East Side Gallery every year. Obviously, that's a crazy amount of people. So many people love that wall. 2/3 of the paintings are now damaged by graffiti and vandalism. Both are obviously illegal. Vandalism is a form of messing or ruining something that doesn't belong to you. Obviously, it is illegal. This is what it looked like in 1989. And this is what it looks like now. Here is an image of some graffiti on the street art. As you can see, it's been vandalized. Banksy. Banksy is the most famous street artist in the UK. Nobody knows who Banksy is. He's anonymous. That probably means he wears masks or hides his identity while doing street art. He is anonymous because graffiti is illegal. His art is sold for thousands of pounds. His first works were seen in Bristol, in England. His work is very political and satirical. Now, satire is using humor to show how stupid people are. For example, criticizing the government. So his street art would be related to political and sarcastic figures. So he would sarcastically make fun of the government or of certain or people. Let us look at some of his work. Here is an image with the label cancelled above follow your dreams, showing how he must have believed that it is hard to follow your dreams in today's world, or that it is not really supported, and that you should do what society wants you to do. Here is another image. And another. This is a piece of art by Banksy called Mobile Lovers. Try to describe the picture. What do you think it means? I'll give you a few seconds. Hi Adnan, how are you? Now, as you can see through the picture, it shows a man and a woman hugging. They're both on their phones, which shows how today's society is just too attached to their phones and to technology and can't really displace themselves from it. Banksy is showing that that people use their phone far too much, even in such an important moment that people would admire to be. I'll give you a few seconds to look at it. Do you like street art? And do you think graffiti should be illegal? These are two very controversial topics, however, people's opinions are different. Now, it is illegal because you're doing it on property that doesn't belong to you. Should we make graffiti illegal? Advantages. Some people think graffiti is art, and in obvious ways, sometimes it is. Graffiti is a way to express yourself and your creativity, and graffiti can make a boring wall look exciting and interesting. What's not to love? Cons or disadvantages are that how would you feel if someone put graffiti on the outside of your house? You wouldn't like it if someone vandalized your own property. It is also very expensive to clean up, and a lot of graffiti has swear words or inappropriate images, which many people would agree is not okay for children to see. Now we have a little quiz. As there's only one person in the stream, I will just read the questions, leave it on for 5 to 10 seconds, and then read the answer. If you are watching this later, just pause in between for longer answers. This PowerPoint should have been emailed to you already. What is a tag? 1. Is it a signature used by a graffiti artist? 2. Is it a label on a suitcase or in a shop? 3. A thing attached to a dog's collar with their name on it. The answer is all three. So this is a tag in a clothing shop. This is a tag for a dog's collar. This is a baggage tag. but it is also used as a signature by graffiti artists, as you can see here, monk, which must be a signature or how do you say this, nickname for a certain artist. Which of these artists is French? Banksy, Invader, or Keith Haring? The answer is Invader. Invader is French, but Banksy could also be French. No one knows who he is. However, he is the most famous in the UK. Where is the John Lennon Wall? Is it in Berlin, Germany, Prague, Czech Republic, or Liverpool, England? The answer is Prague, Czech Republic. John Lennon is Liverpudlian, which means he is from Liverpool. Where is the East Side Gallery? Berlin, Germany, Paris, France, or Madrid, Spain? The answer is Berlin, Germany. John Lennon was in which band? The Who, The Jam, or The Beatles? The answer is The Beatles. These are all famous British rock bands. As you can see on the right, that is an image of the Beatles and its members. Which is graffiti and which is street art? Here are the answers. This is the end of today's session. Thank you for anyone watching this afterwards. I hope it was enjoyed, and tune in next week for more classes. We also run sessions on Zoom every single day now, usually 2 sessions a day, where there are opportunities for you to go with a teacher and be able to speak live to them. Thank you all for watching, and have a good day. Thank you.